Tom and Sam for Cultaholic. Friday, one must get down on Friday. Are you getting down for Friday, Sam?
I'm getting down to a hell of a lot of work today, so yeah, yes. I guess in a way, I'm getting down for Friday.
He is the busiest boy, so we won't keep him. Let's do some wrestling news. Cody has addressed heat between the AEW EVPs. We have the backstage reaction to the firing of announcer Tom Phillips from WWE, and there's a big push planned for an NXT star. Find out who in a little bit. Double or Nothing this Sunday, emanating from a packed-out Daily's Place. First time they're filling out that entire venue, and Cody was on the press call for Double or Nothing last night. Really excited for many things happening with AEW. Had loads to talk about as well on the subject of the heat between the AEW EVPs. So this was reported a little while ago that there was some bit of backstage tension between the Bucks and Cody and Kenny. Like, what? Like, you're not surprised? Oh, not really surprised, because, you know, when you work with your mates, there's always going to be a little bit of bother, isn't there, Sam?
It's wrestling. Everybody's at everybody's throats, and then they're not, then they're friends. Then, you know, all the rumors all the time about everything, absolutely always. That is it. That's that's wrestling.
Exactly.
You know?
I sat in on this press call last night, and Cody addressed the heat between he and the Young Bucks, or the alleged heat between he and the Young Bucks. He said he chalked it up to their success creating a lot of anger. He says, quote, "As sexy as that story is, I support their projects fully and wouldn't put this show on the air if the four of us weren't functioning as one team. There's no truth to that. We're one team, and we will remain one team." So to quote my nanny Doris, all pals at the palace with AEW EVPs, apparently.
Part of me just feels like it's projection, where it's just like, oh, the Young Bucks are being so horrible and people are getting worked. And then, oh, but Cody only comes out through the middle and he always makes such a spectacle of himself and he's got such a long intro. And Kenny's away doing things with other companies. And then everybody kind of just has all these things come together and then all of a sudden they've fallen out. Yeah, that's kind of what I think's happened there.
Very likely. It's another one we'll keep an eye on. Also from the press call, some conversations about their new TV shows, new deal with TBS, their show AEW Rampage that's coming up. Cody's really excited for Rampage. He wants to not only expand the roster, but get people, quote, off the bench for this show. So we're going to see more bodies as part of AEW. It's going to immediately follow Dynamite on TNT. It's going to serve as the third hour of AEW programming in a block, but across two different channels showcasing the roster. Do you think they're going to struggle, Sam, with sort of holding an audience for 3 hours over two channels?
I think this is crazy. Like, I don't know much about, you know, TV blocking and all of that stuff and, you know, that kind of thing, but I couldn't imagine having, you know, here's 2 hours. Oh, there's a bit more, but you got to switch channel to channel 255, and then it ends. Like, it's weird. So I guess they're going to market the absolute hell out of it. You know, they're going to make sure that this is an easy, like the easiest possible migration they can. But they've got to find a way. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's going to be a strong product and a lot of promotion throughout the episode of Dynamite for what's coming later. That's going to be the thing that drives people across to watch.
In terms of the product, Rampage will be treated with the same care as Dynamite, according to Cody. It's not going to be a secondary show. He reassures fans as well that Dark and Dark Elevation will continue on and they will complement Dynamite and Rampage. He actually went on to say that Dark is going to, once they get back on the road, they'll use Dark and Dark Elevation to feature talent from specific markets, which is an obvious thing to say, but I really like. Yeah, it's like the old territory days, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of it just kind of pays respect to the local scene as well. And if you're there and you see somebody from a local wrestling company, you know, wrestle somebody like Cody, and you know they have a good match, and then you see him on a poster like down your co-op, you're gonna go to the show, and it gives a chance for, you know, the local stars to shine and build a scene locally. Are they trying to? They might rebuild the territories. They're going to rebuild the territories.
There's going to be the indie territories and then the WWE territory system running side by side and anything
opposite each other on the high street of each town in America. Just come directly opposite.
Come to NXT California. What? Cody, in terms of the other TV product, these TV specials they have alluded to, Cody says they are not a save it for the pay-per-view company. And the 4 TV specials they planned will be mega events, and he even name dropped a la Clash of the Champions. So it's going to use converging storylines and such. So where they've done stuff like Fyter Fest and those special like New Year Smash type shows, I think instead of making Dynamite those sort of themed episodes, they'll save that energy for these 4 TV specials.
I like this. Like, this is the thing. I love this, and I think WWE should be doing this too. I think there should be, free TV pay-per-view type product. It's something that would attract a hell of a lot more people to the product. There are families out there that can't afford to buy pay-per-views, or they can't afford streaming services in order to watch, or they can't afford, certain channels to watch certain stuff. And so, to put it on free TV, it'd be, or at least, a very accessible channel. It's a bit of a no-brainer.
It's a great idea. I really like it as well. So Double or Nothing this weekend. Live reactions with Adam Pacitti. We'll have What Happened At Graded and Veils from Double or Nothing on Monday as well. Moving over to WWE, the news of Tom Phillips being let go from the company broke yesterday. Surprised to see this go down, because I kind of thought initially when Adnan Virk was let go, they might just pop Tom Phillips back in that seat. No chance. Here comes Jimmy Smith from Bellator, and off you pop, Tom Phillips. Are we sad to see Tom go, Sam?
I mean, throughout the stuff that I've been covering, historically with Graded, I've been, in and around a lot of shows where Tom Phillips was one of the guys on commentary, or he was a backstage interviewer or something. I think he always tried to bring, a good level of professionalism to what he was doing. I think he was a good commentator. I don't know. It kind of just surprised me that he was let go. I thought he was always going to be one of these hands that was just around, and we'd see him pop up sporadically from time to time.
Because he's done everything. Like he's done like Superstars, Main Event, NXT UK, NXT 205 Live, SmackDown, and Raw, and most pay-per-views. Like you don't realize that what a journeyman he was.
All
within
while doing
WWE.
the splits while standing up.
Was painting a mural to Heidenreich. I don't know. A few stars across the industry have come out in respect for Tom Phillips. AEW's Dax Harwood has tweeted, "For my money, Tom Hannifan was the best commentator I had the pleasure of working with. He worked so hard with us to get our stories across. He put the words to our music. Maybe his biggest downfall was that he enjoyed calling actual professional wrestling. I'm sure I'll see you soon. Tom Phillips is All Elite, AEW confirmed." Mick Foley has tweeted, "I'm surprised to see that WWE let Tom Phillips go. I've always enjoyed his announcing. Thought his chemistry with his fellow commentators was professional, informative, and entertaining. Announcing in WWE is not easy, and he did it very well." Aidan English was another one, and he's worked with him on NXT UK and a number of other projects. He says, "I'll always be grateful for Tom Hannifan," Tom Phillips is his real name, "for taking a chance on me and offering me a chance to rediscover what I loved about wrestling at a time when I was starting to question it. What a damn pro who will be doing great stuff going forward, I'm sure." Lots of love for Tom Phillips across the industry today. Staying with commentators very briefly, Matt Striker was absent from Impact. Just want to shut this out there. He hasn't gone from the company. He's still there. According to PW Insider, he's missing several shows with outside commitments, and Josh Matthews is subbing in. How have you warmed to Striker and D'Lo Brown? And you can probably tell by my furrowed brow where I stand on this. How have you warmed to them on Impact, Sam?
I just feel like you've got something you want to get off your chest here, so I'm going to just open the road right out to you there, Tom.
I just don't like them that much. and I really want to. I really want to, but it feels like they're saying the right things, but I don't feel like they're connected with the product. Like,
it might just take a little bit more time. Like, I think it could just be that it's going to take a little bit more time for them to gel as, a team and gel with the product and gel with the surroundings and make it their own. Because that's a big part of, being a commentary team. You need to have that rapport. You need to have that, ability to bounce off each other and your surroundings and kind of call it really quick and off the cuff if you need to.
Yeah, I'll give them more time before I kick off again. Staying with Impact Wrestling, Matt Cardona, some bad news for him, isn't there, Sam?
Yeah, he's got a fractured orbital bone, so he is on the shelf. Impact explained it away last night by revealing that he was injured at the hands of Brian Myers last week, and he's going to be out for about 12 weeks. Now, this has got to suck. Just a bone in your face. Just absolutely. I mean, famously, you know, the Undertaker with the mask. Oh, God, that's got to be bad.
Not a nice injury. Hey, maybe he'll wear Undertaker's mask. He's a fan of collectibles.
12 weeks, though. That's a long time.
Yeah, that 12 weeks, or in Impact TV taping time, 4 days.
Yeah.
It might be 12 weeks in real time, though, so we send our best to Matt Cardona. Get well. Just as Chelsea's getting better. Always one of them has to be injured, for goodness sake. Finalement, a big push is being planned for a start from NXT. Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio gives us some details on one of the coolest characters in NXT, being Xia Li. I've loved all this
whole thing has been great.
Weird stuff. It's been so good, hasn't it?
I like anything spooky and over the top and done with a level of attention to detail. If it's too hokey, then nah. But this has been magical. It's just been so well shot and presented.
I've put Dave Meltzer's quote verbatim here, Sam, from Wrestling Observer Radio. Always a good read. It's a bit like taking the scenic route in a conversation. So I wish you good luck. What did Dave Meltzer say?
Okay, so the deal with Xia Li in WWE right now, there's a big movement to have international stars for certain markets. Like with Mansoor, they have the idea, but they won't go with them, which is very weird. But they want a Latin star besides Rey Mysterio because he's 46 years old. They really want Indian stars, which is why we got Freakin' with an N and an apostrophe, Jinder again. And they want Chinese stars, and that's where Xia Li comes in. Xia's got some charisma. She's got the martial arts ability. When she does her stuff, it kind of looks good and kind of looks good and everything. Dave, it looks great. It kind of looks good and everything. I don't know if she can make it or not. Harsh, but that's the whole thing. She's a project. Mercedes Martinez has been around for probably close to 20 years, so Mercedes' job is to help Xia Li, so that's why they're doing that program now. I mean,
there you go.
In terms of this sort of stuff, I've always thought this is just a very general observation. You know, British Bulldog brought in British viewers. Yeah. That's what happened there. You know, it's kind of, if you build stars from an international perspective, you're going to attract fans from their countries, like no matter what. That's just what's going to happen. You know, if you're from like Malta and WWE gets a Maltese superstar, you're going to be like, oh, he's from Malta. Like, done.
I want there to be a Maltese star now called the Maltese Falcon. Can we make that a thing? Incidentally, there's a great clip that did the rounds on Twitter last week, talking of the British Bulldog. I want to mention this as we head out. It's a clip from World of Sport from back in the 80s, and it was during a run where they were showing WWF matches as well as like Had Daddy and Haystacks, all that stuff. And there's Mean Gene Oakland doing a bit from the control center, welcoming the fans of British wrestling to the World Wrestling Federation, and he does a little lead into a British Bulldogs match, in which he describes the British Bulldogs as being from the mining area of England, North Manchester, from Leeds and Wiggins, respectively.
Oh, beautiful. Leeds and Wiggins.
Northern mining area of Manchester. Leeds, people listening in Leeds are going to be delighted to be considered as part of Manchester. Oh, well, you know something, Mean Gene. We love the bones off you. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.